The city of Chicago and a gun safety group file a lawsuit against gun manufacturer Glock, claiming the pistols the company makes endanger Chicagoans.
Experts say Glock's pistols can easily be converted into illegal machine guns.
What we allege in this case is that they know they could fix the problem, but they have made a corporate decision not to in pursuit of additional sales and additional profits.
The city of Chicago alleging Glock has failed to take any meaningful action to fix how easily its guns can be modified. From the start of 2021 through the end of 2023, the city says more than 1,100 modified Glocks were recovered by Chicago police.
What we are trying to do is plain and simple: create a better sense of safety across the city of Chicago, help keep residents safe, also help keep officers safe in general.
Machine gun conversion devices, or auto sears, allow users to toggle between semi and fully automatic firing modes. They're illegal under federal law and go by a handful of names, including Glock switches. Despite that, they're not made by the manufacturer.
You look at other handguns by major manufacturers, they require pretty sophisticated engineering that most civilians could not do.
According to the filing, modified Glocks have turned up at the scenes of homicides, kidnappings, home invasions, carjackings, and other crimes. The lawsuit also cites previous WGN reporting on these conversion devices, including an interview with the ATF's Chicago Field Division, talking about the added danger when they're added to a gun.
It's not simply a semi-automatic firearm now that's being discharged in a public area during a crime. It is a weapon of mass destruction.
The city says it is working hard to get these weapons off the streets, while also pointing out the increased risk they pose to both civilians and law enforcement.
There's not a reason a manufacturer can continue to allow weapons like this to haunt communities. We've seen far too many times the number of mass shootings that happen in the city of Chicago. We've also seen those numbers creep up in shootings around the country.
The city's deputy mayor of community safety says it's time to hold the manufacturers accountable, as well as the people causing harm.
Glock doesn't even make these switches, and on top of that, it's illegal to own a switch. So why would you sue a company over a product they don't make and is already illegal? Switches aren't even making Chicago more deadly. The Chicago Police Department released its end-of-the-year crime stats for 2023, showing a drop in the number of murders and shootings.
According to Chicago's Violence Reduction Dashboard, homicides are showing double-digit declines. They are down nearly 13% this year compared to last year. And non-fatal shootings are also seeing a major decline, down 16% in 2023 compared to 2022.
So what are we even talking about here? And calling Glock switches weapons of mass destruction is crazy and reckless hyperbole designed to scare people whose knowledge of guns comes from movies. A Glock with a switch has a cyclic rate of 1,200 rounds a minute. That is 20 rounds a second. Do you know how fast that is? I can't even take a sip of water from my Pew Pew Life 40-ounce Stanley style tumbler. That's available right now at shop.mrcolionnoir.com in a bunch of different designs if you click the link in the description section, in the time it would take for someone to shoot all of their ammo from a Glock with a switch. I know it seems counterintuitive, but Glocks with switches shoot too fast to be effective at shooting a bunch of people. The only reason they're panicking over this is because it's a clear example of how gun control laws don't work. Owning just the switch, not the gun, but just the switch, is a federal crime with a prison sentence of up to 10 years. Yet every teenager in the streets of Chicago has one on their gun like it's nothing.
Everyone has.
But who am I fooling? I know what this is really about. This is a tactic used by the anti-gun lobby to destroy the gun industry by suing them so much they can't afford to do business anymore. This isn't the first time Chicago has tried to sue a gun company. Mayor Richard M. Daley tried unsuccessfully over a 6-year period to argue gun manufacturers create a public nuisance by selling guns that wind up in the hands of criminals charged with gun crimes. The Illinois Supreme Court dismissed 2 lawsuits filed by the Daley administration over the issue in 2004, according to the Chicago Tribune. Pay attention to that date, because in 2005, the federal government passed a law called the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms, or PLACA, to protect gun manufacturers, distributors, and dealers from being sued simply because someone used their gun to commit a crime. At the time, as I just pointed out, anti-gun groups and anti-gun politicians were constantly bringing these BS lawsuits in order to cause gun companies to spend so much money fighting these types of cases that they would go bankrupt. And it was actually starting to work, but the DOD was like, hey, if you bankrupt these companies, the federal government won't have anyone to buy guns from. So they passed the PLACA and shut the strategy down. But these people are clever. What they're doing now is creating state laws to get around this federal law, like the Illinois Firearms Industry Responsibility Act, or FIRA, that they passed last year. The law allows gun manufacturers to be held accountable for public harm caused by action or inaction from their sales and marketing practices. You see how sneaky they are? Oh, we're not suing them because the criminals are using their guns. We're suing them because they won't take the steps to make their guns safer. California also tried to do the same shit with this. Oh, it's their advertising that's causing the issue, as a way to get around PLACA. I know this is just as stupid, but remember, the goal isn't to win. The goal is to bring one case after the other to bankrupt the company by making them pay to fight all of these suits. Like, let's be real, Glock makes 1 million guns a year, and as of 2020, Glock has made over 20 million pistols, and all of these pistols can be fitted with a switch. Having them change their design will do nothing to stop the proliferation of switches, but as I just showed you, their goal is not to win, but to bankrupt. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you think it makes sense for anti-gun groups and anti-gun politicians to sue gun manufacturers over the fact that other people are using their guns in crime, or the fact that people are using switches to put on their Glocks to shoot really fast? Do you think that's right? Or are you like, nah, you know what, I think this is pretty stupid, doesn't make any sense? I kind of know the answer, considering most of y'all are pretty damn smart who watch this, but make sure you take this video and share it with the people who might not otherwise be so knowledgeable. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell symbol, and it will drop down and show you all. Click all to make sure you get notified anytime I release a video.